Hi there. So the review of the day is for a short story. I am still going through the best of C. Elmore in this lovely little Valentine Books edition, kindly sent to me by Rob from Elspace. Elspace, which is full of books. Come on, bird. Be good. This story is Greater Than Gods. It is the 7th in the compendium, if you include the introduction by Del Rey, which I certainly do include. And when done with this one, I've got another 5 to go, if you include the afterword, which I absolutely do. So, Greater Than Gods is a neat futuristic tale. It's one of those stories where C. Elmore utilizes that function of two different forking paths in your future. The thing that you do now can determine not only how your life continues on, but the fate of the world. And one of the things Greater Than Gods does really, really efficiently and very, very fast is it creates a futuristic setting with these tiny little touches of writing that are deft and really quite exceptional. So our main protagonist is Bill Corey, and he's a scientist in Science City, as they call. I can't air quote with a bird on my hand. And go on, why did you go? No, that's not working. So Bill Corey is a scientist in the Science City, as they call it, in this futuristic world where there's a whole heap of different things. So he's working on a machine that will determine the gender of the child, or in his test experience, puppies that will be born. So that predetermination of gender sounds exciting, and it seems to be really, really necessary in their world where more girls than boys are already being born. He has already had success in testing a number of animals. There's a litter of puppies that are the most recent lot. There's mention at one point where his secretary goes out to take care of them, Miss Brown, I think her name is. But Bill's dilemma hasn't got anything to do with his science research. He's sitting at the desk wondering which of two women to propose marriage to. Now, again, Moore gives us this delicate little beautiful highlight of futurism in that he's got photographs of both on his desk, but both are like 3D crystal cubes, so you've got all the dimensions. And that doesn't really sound too far in the future or too exceptional to us. That sounds like something that's quite doable, probably has already been done. But one thing that I noticed later on about this story is its era. This was published in 1938. Can you believe that? It's nearly 100 years old. I couldn't believe it. It's quite contemporary in a lot of ways. It has dated. The notion that a man is just going to be sitting there wondering which of a couple of women he's going to propose marriage to, in the inescapable assumption that he proposes marriage to a woman and she will marry him, and thereafter make him the center of her world. That's a bit 30s. So that was interesting. But anyway, he's got two choices who I would name for you if my hands weren't occupied. Okay, my hands aren't occupied. I was doing it all wrong. Head scratching is not my forte, apparently. One of them is Marta Mayhew, and she is a scientist herself in Science City, we believe. Mathematician, we believe, dark with gorgeous violet eyes, and he is very attracted to her and he's thinking of marrying her. The other option, however, is a blonde, beautiful girl with curly, bubbly blonde hair or something like that. Sally, I think it might be Crawford. Anyhow, so he's trying to decide which of these two women to marry. And yeah, okay, I get that's not a contemporary thing at all. And he's sitting there with a piece of paper and he's already written "To My Darling," and he's stuck on the name. Which name is he going to choose? Forking of the future, there's different pathways in the future world. So at that point in time, from the crystal cube containing Sally's image, someone calls him from the far, far future. It's the daughter of his daughter, thousands of times removed. Her name is Sue, but she looks a lot like Sally, only Sally with some of the determination of Bill's own features mixed in. And she tells him of this futuristic world, which is this pastoral, beautiful world where nothing bad ever happened. The war's been eliminated. Sure, the birth rate is falling significantly, but everyone's very happy. Instead of having technology or science anymore, what they do is explore things with their minds, and a group has managed to send their mind back in the past so that she can contact her far, far back ancestor. And she's chosen Bill because Bill is the last male born in her line, or something like that. That was really rude, bird, biting me. And that he's the last person of her line before this great change overcame the earth. And it becomes clear that the great change was the result of his machine not happening. So in this future, Bill married Sally, and Sally isn't really into science, but she is into entertaining and having a lot of fun, and slowly his interest in his scientific project wanes until it doesn't happen, and the trend of largely female births increases, and with women rising to power, and can I just say this bit dated a bit, you've got world leaders who are women now, and women aren't scientific, and they're in mind, and they aren't generally very financial in mind. Not me saying this, that's C.L. Moore back in 38. Because of that, the world slowly goes down this pastoral, rural, non-scientific version of itself. So, on one hand, Bill is delighted by Sue, his ancestor, who's calling him father. On the other hand, he doesn't really like where this world is going. The declining birth rate suggests that humanity has run its race and is slowly dying out. At least that suggested to him. While he's pondering this, you guessed it, the other cube lights up, and a boy who has got Bill Corey's features but Marta's violet eyes contacts him from the different alternate version of the future. Bill has married Marta, and as a scientist herself, she has enthusiastically endorsed his work and finally talked him into releasing it before you could quite ironed out all the problems. And one of the problems is that children born after this RNA selection has occurred on them are very compliant. They're very obedient, they're very compliant. It's already being seen in the puppies. They obey orders more easily, and you end up with what we would call a dictatorship based on the fact that the majority of humans have selected their children through this machine, and they're all compliant to whatever they want. On the other hand, you've got a united world leadership who is about to be taken over by this long-distance son of Corey and Marta's. And of course, Bill doesn't like this world any better than he likes the other one. He doesn't like the fact that everyone looks miserable, and it may be very efficient, but he doesn't see anyone being happy. Sure, they've got colonies on the moon and on Mars, and they're making their way to Venus. They might even get outside the solar system. That's all good, only he doesn't really... I love birds. Only he doesn't really want to see that world any more than he wants to see the first one. Then we discover that the world in the future in which he married Marta is threatening him. They have a weapon that can also get back. They've reached him by technological prowess, not through the mind, but they have a weapon that can reach him and make sure that even if he doesn't select their timeline, they can eradicate him in vengeance. So what's he going to choose? He's got these two women, he has to choose one. But does he? So that's pretty spoilery, but I haven't told you the end, and it's a short story. It's a nice, meaty, it's not a tiny short story, it's very enjoyable. I do recommend it to anyone who enjoys C.L. Moore's writing, and we've got that future choice dilemma thing happening, which is also pretty good. An amazing thing about C.L. Moore's writing, that as I see it, is that no matter how short the story is, you find as much to discuss in it as you do in a full-length novel for many other writers. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call it quits here. Thank you for writing. Thank you for writing. Thank you for watching. This is a great book. It's well written. You should read good books and maybe even C.L. Moore. Thank you. Have a good day.